Hi, we're coming to you live from Atikitiran, I don't know how to say it, Guatemala. And we're doing our question and answer, or Q&A today, and I brought my friend Eva along.
Hi, I'm Eva Gomez. I'm from Elk Grove, California, and I'm 18 years old.
Sweet. Okay, so our first question was, what does a day in the life look like for you? Honestly, every day is like really different, but I think I'm gonna make a whole nother video about just what a day in the life looks like, because that is like a really intense question, because we do a lot. Those are the trees. Okay, what has been the hardest thing? What has been the most joyful?
I think the hardest thing for me has definitely been like coming to terms with, or trying to find like ways that we're helping, I guess, because there's some days where it's like it seems like we're not doing anything, and it seems like it's like useless a little bit, just of when we run into people who just don't like us. And so like coming to terms with like some people see us that way, and like also knowing that that's not how I am, or like my team, or like the group in general, I think. So I think the hardest thing has been
Like seeing the fruit of what you're doing.
Yeah, the hardest thing has definitely been seeing the fruit of what we're doing, especially like on the days where we don't have any work to do, because that, like, my team a lot doesn't have a lot of like manual labor or like work to do, but we're just hanging out with kids the whole time.
Yeah, I actually wrote a blog post about that called like Brick by Brick, about like how sometimes we don't always see like the bigger picture, but we're like seed planting, and like sometimes a lot of the stuff that we're doing won't even come to fruition until like months after we leave or years after we leave, just because like Thor's timing is so like out of our control. And like,
yeah,
anyway, go read the blog.
Okay,
okay, what has been the most joyful?
being accepted, I think, by my kids. Because the town that we work in 2 different towns, and the one that my team doesn't like is my favorite town, because the kids are like more rough and like rowdy, and they like make fun of us, and I think they're so funny. And like, I don't know, I think the most joyful thing is definitely being able to like hang out with them every day, because like they like me now. And so the most joyful thing is definitely just like building friendships with these 3 kids that are my favorite.
Yeah, I would agree. Being like the most joyful is like the hospitality that like people invite you in, or just like you like knock on their door and you're like, buenas, and you're like, and they're like, come in, and then you're like, ah, thanks. Like, everyone's so hospitable and excited to like see you and to welcome you in. People you do build relationships with, they're like excited to see you again. Like, there's this one girl who's like in our village, and every time we walk by she runs up to us and goes, amiga, and she's like 5 and like the cutest little girl in the whole world. And like so many people are like that, and they're just like excited to see us and excited that we're coming back, because I guess there's so many times where people don't come back. So I think it's really awesome that we get that opportunity. Funniest thing that's happened for me, our team, we had a VBS, and we were in our VBS is like in this field, it's not in like an actual building. And so one day we like went out there, and there's a lady in the village who owns a cow, but she also owns a calf, but the calf is usually in her house. But we were like about to start VBS and stuff, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the calf just like jets out from like her house out of nowhere, followed by the dog that's like chasing it, and it's like barking, and the calf just runs in circles. And I've never seen a cow move so fast. Like, you think they move slow, and it's just going so fast, and we like run to the tree because we were like thinking it was gonna hit us, but it didn't. But it was so funny. And then the older dude, I guess he was the one who let the calf out, but he was like laughing at us because he thought it was so funny. And I was like, we don't want to die. But it was funny.
A couple of days ago we went to this nature reserve, and there was like monkeys, and so we were walking, and then Mel was like talking to the monkey, and he's like, mi nombre es Melanie, and then I was like, ooh. And then the monkey just like was on the tree, and then started shaking. It was like, and then we all just like sprinted, and then Mal had like a really funny video of it like cutting off right as like we all screamed, so it sounded like we were like dying.
That is funny.
It was really funny.
Hi! What if it waved back in?
Tell him your name.
You're scared.
Mi nombre es Melanie.
Most unexpected thing that's happened or thing you've learned? It's such like a big question. Most unexpected thing would probably be like just, and like it kind of goes with like or thing you've learned, just like how easy it is to live in community when like everyone is striving after the same thing, and everyone wants to grow, and everyone wants to like dive deeper with the Lord. Because when everyone wants to grow, everyone's like willing to hear feedback, everyone wants to like hear what you have to say, and everyone wants to like dive into the word more. Versus like back home, it's not always as easy because you're surrounded by people from so many different backgrounds with so many different beliefs, and with so many different like goals and purposes. But it's been really awesome how like easy it is to live with like 40 other women and like 6 guys, because like you'd think like 40 women, like that's just gonna be like catastrophe, drama, like, but it's actually like so sweet and so like simple to like live life with them. And so like encouraging to like see them all grow closer to the Lord and grow closer as like women of God.
I think this is like a story. So we visited this woman, and it was like amazing, but it was so unexpected because we had just come from this house where we visited before, but today, like, I don't know, they don't really like us very much, so we didn't stay very long. But they don't like us because we don't give them money, which is like really discouraging, because like that's not empowering whatsoever. This family just like was over us, and so we were just like saying like goodbye, like thank you for like your time and stuff, and they were just like, they didn't like us, I guess, but they were still like, you know, so it was just like kind of discouraging. But immediately after, we went to like one of our students' mothers, or one of my teammates' students' mom's house, and we spent like 6 hours there, and it was like so like awesome, I guess, because she was so inviting and she like wanted us there. And like we were even like, after like an hour, we were gonna like leave because we didn't want to take up time and like, you know, intrude, because like that's like the thing that we're worried about, is like we don't want to like, you know, we don't want you to host us just because you like come in, like, I guess, you know. And so it was really cool because it wasn't an obligation at all, because we were saying like goodbye, and then she's like, do you guys want to see outside? And she like kept inviting us back. And then when we did leave, she like sent her son back to find us, and then her son was like, do you guys want to come in and eat tortillas with me and my family? And we were like, yeah, we want to eat tortillas with you and your family. And so we ate lunch with them, and like we helped make tortillas, and it was just so fun because like her kids came home from school, and so it was like the whole family. And then we stayed for another 2 hours, and then she invited us back in a couple weeks.
How have you adjusted to the culture shock? If I'm being like 100% honest, I don't think I've really experienced intense culture shock. Yeah. I guess being from Texas, I wasn't like thrown into, and I've been to Costa Rica before, so I wasn't like thrown into a culture where I was just like, whoa, like why are they doing this? This is crazy. I definitely think there will be culture shock in Africa and Thailand, most likely. Yeah. But so far being here, it hasn't been terrible. Our base is incredible, and like our base leaders and our all of our leadership is really awesome. Yeah. So they've helped us like adjust to culture shock and to like get into the move of things here in Guatemala. There wasn't like a day I woke up and I was like, you know, like, oh shoot, you know, like what did I just do? It's been actually like pretty incredible and pretty awesome.
I think especially the way that I grew up just around a lot of Latin American culture, because my dad is from Mexico, and my dad's whole side of the family was really close to us, and so like a lot of the customs and like the language, especially like Spanish, I've been around my entire life. And so coming here, it was just like, oh, like this is cool, like this is dope, like I understand a lot of this. It hasn't been very difficult for me with culture shock, I think, because one of like just some of the women here, like they greet me and they're like, hola, like hey, like how you doing? And I'm like, hey, like my grandma does this to me, like the like kiss like both sides, and like invite me in, and they're like, you sure you're not hungry? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm not hungry, and then they give me food anyway, you know, like it's like a very, very comfortable thing for me to be around, especially with like elders. I think I'm really comfortable with like older women and older men. I just sneeze.
Bless you. Thanks. Have you had any super good authentic food while being there? Honestly, I feel like we've had a good balance, because at the base, like Monday through Friday, Teresa and Sanja cook our meals, and they like sometimes we have Guatemalan food, but then sometimes we'll have pancakes and like French toast, which is obviously super American. But my team specifically, our ministry, sometimes we do cooking classes, which basically we meet with the families that we've built relationships with.
This is
Yes.
so cool.
And we basically ask them if they have any like dishes they would like to make, or like something that's like super authentic, and to teach us how to cook, just because food and cooking is like a very cultural thing here. And so we'll spend time with like the women cooking with them, and we like pay for all the food and the supplies and stuff like that, but it gives us an opportunity to know them better and to just build a better relationship with them, and it gives us like a large chunk of time to like talk to them and just kind of like understand how they do life. But last Tuesday we actually made this, like, it's called like a caldo, but it's not a soup or a stew, it's Guatemalan, but you basically put like whole potatoes, like whole corn, whole everything, and then you also have chicken. So we like come into her house and she has the chickens tied up, and we're like, and we knew we were gonna be killing the chickens, but we were just kind of like, chicken's alive. And she thought it was so funny, because for them it's like normal, that's every day, like, oh, you're hungry, like go get the chicken, you know, like that's your food. But for us, obviously I'd never killed a chicken, and so we had to like hold the chicken down, and we like, yeah, graphically killed the chicken.
Oh, that one? Okay, that was funny. Oh, it's instantly dead.
The woman who we were working with, she was actually like, thought it was so funny. She kept laughing at us when we would be like squirmy, because she was like, oh, this is so, like, she was just enjoying herself. And we like, you know, cleaned the chicken and everything, and then like we ate it, and that was our lunch. And we were just like, what the heck, like this thing in front of me, I ate it from outside, or it was outside, now it's in my bowl of soup. But that was just like a really cool, authentic experience. But it was also really awesome because we got to hang out with the family and get to know them more, as well as their like lifestyle. Do you want to come be in our vlog?
In your vlog?
For like 2 seconds?
Sure.
You want to put your head in?
How you feeling?
Someone also asked, who's your favorite ATL? Lexi asked that question, so I have to say Lexi.
Lexi said what?
Eva can say Eva. Alexi asked, who's your favorite element team leader?
Oh, you.
Good question.
Good question. Yeah, look who's here. Hi. Right now, she is bearing 2 parasites.
And salmonella.
And salmonella.
I'm a wonderful host, I've been told.
Does it seem that long, or does time go by quick?
I think the days go by really long, because like we're doing a lot, and it's a lot of walking, and so it's like a really slow lifestyle that we live. So I think that the days are really long, but like when you, like the weeks go by really fast.
How is the work you're doing sustainable and necessary for the people you interact with?
We work a lot with children, and in the town that we live in, children are like pretty neglected. They start working at around 12 years old. A lot of the work we're doing is we're placing like soccer teams in different towns, and so we're raising them up to like, we're practicing, and then in a couple weeks we're gonna have like tournaments at like a really nice field. We're working with this one man in specific who's trying to build a community center in the middle, where the people of the community will come and learn different skill sets. So we're working on like fundraising with that, and working out like the land and stuff. You can come and you can learn how to work with computers, and you can learn like wood skills, and you can learn, there'll be English classes, so there will be better opportunities for jobs. And especially in the town that we work in, it's pretty isolated, so the kids especially in the town don't really have dreams or like aspirations besides like owning their own horse, or like I want to like have 2 horses one day, or like I just want to work in the fields like my dad, you know. So it's like really cool to be able to like instill like you can do so much more than that. Like the life that you live will be great, you know. Own your own horse and like work in the fields, like that's beautiful, that's a good life. Like there's also so much more you could be, like if you wanted to, you know. Like the community center itself will provide a lot of jobs for people who have those skill sets, and also it will provide a lot of education for those who like want those skill sets. when we leave after 3 months, like it's going to continue.
The organization that we're with is called AIM, and they actually have a base here in Guatemala. It's called Adventures in Guatemala. They have a super incredible staff. And so like even when we leave, these people live here long term, and so they actually continue to activate and to be a part of the community. And they continue to go into these places and so pour into them. Also, after we leave, there's another gap year group that's coming. It's not like, oh, we're the only people here for 3 months ever. Another gap year program comes in, and so then they'll be here for 3 months working with Adventures in Guatemala, and they'll continue to continue the work that we left off with, if that makes sense. So there's constantly people going into these communities, there's constantly people coming in and filling up and continuing these roles, but we're just here to be vessels for Christ and here for whatever purpose he has us here for. And then other people also get that opportunity to work as vessels. How is it necessary for the people we work with? Our ultimate goal, whether that's we're teaching soccer tournament things, if we're doing kids ministry, if we're teaching English, house visits, cooking classes, our ultimate goal with anything is to build relationships and to get to know people and to actually make them feel seen and loved. And so it's necessary, it's not necessary that we be here, but we've just been called and asked to partner with the Lord and partner with him in this ministry and into loving others. And so part of our belief is that all people would know the name of Jesus, and so it's really awesome that we have the opportunity to actually get to know them and to build a relationship, and then get to tell them about someone who can totally alter their lives and totally give them eternity, and someone who can love them when their family doesn't, and someone who can provide for them when they can't, and someone for them to rely on. So as far as necessary goes, nothing that we do is technically necessary, but everything that the Lord does in their hearts and pushing them towards the kingdom is necessary to further the kingdom. But I don't really like the word necessary. It's just more of a privilege that we get to be here and partner with the people, and that we get to pour into them, and that we get to love them so well. But it's not necessarily our job to do that. It's the Lord working through us, which is super cool. Any other group of 40 people could be here doing the same thing. It doesn't matter that it's Eva and Ellie, but it just matters that it's the Lord working through us, which is such a freaking privilege.
As far as the works that we're doing, there's really nothing necessary ever. Even if we were anywhere else, the way of life here is good. It's a good life to live. It's so different from the States, but nothing that we have to offer is necessary for these people to survive. There's so much more opportunity, and we just want to, especially the kids that I work with, I just want to you can do so much more. You can have the life that you want if this is the life that you want, but you also have opportunity to leave your town, and you have opportunity to be whatever you want. And so it's not that it's necessary, but some people that I've met just don't really know that there's a life outside of what they have.
Yeah, nothing we bring is necessary. However, we can bring hope and love and a different perspective and opportunity. How many dogs have you seen / met? So my village is known as the land of dogs. So if that helps you imagine that at all, that's how many.
Yeah, we've met so many dogs, I think. Funny story, my friend got her chicken sandwich eaten out of her hand by a dog because we ate it at the park. And so she was and the dog was and then randomly just went and just ate it out of her hand, and she looked at it, and then our friend Mason had to be don't. She was gonna keep eating it, but
time goes by fast.
Yeah, I'm not homesick.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
To answer that question, it's not hard to be away from home, because it's really incredible being here and with these people, and every day is a fun adventure. So
yeah,
homesickness. I do love my family, but I'm not homesick.
Yeah, there's yeah, it's not really homesick. I don't miss being in California at all. Also, there's cool mountains right there.
Yeah,
right there.
You can't see them, but
We're
having the coolest view. over there. I would just take all this with also a grain of salt, and we've only been here a month, so we don't have all the answers, but it's definitely been really incredible to see the way the Holy Spirit's shown up in the places that we are unequipped, because we are only people, and we can only do so much, but it's really awesome to see how the Holy Spirit has moved, just by the way that we love others, and just by the way that also just because of like we always come back and like we're here for a long time, and they see and realize that we're not just tourists and we're not just here to see Guatemala, but we're actually here to like partner with Guatemala and to like dive deep and to bring peace and hope and love, and that would be like our goal. You don't have to come to Guatemala to do that. You can do that right from your home, which is so freaking awesome. So if you're watching
now
this,
if you want to do this right from your home.
So if you're watching this on your couch or in your bed or just on your phone and you're like, man, I want to do that, like I want to go to Guatemala or somewhere overseas to spread hope and love and just to show others who Jesus is, like you can do that straight from your hometown, and possibly even better, like you know the language, you know the culture, you know the people. Go out and be just as active in your community as you would overseas, and you will see life change. We'll be back eventually with another Q&A a long time from now, later in the months, and if
we'll have more answers. I'll talk louder, and there will be less mumbling.
If you're thinking about doing the world race and that's why you're watching this, just do it. There's so many videos you can watch, but it'll never truly encompass like everything. Like you just like, so
yeah, the videos are they're accurate, but they're also inaccurate because there's a lot more, but the world race is better than the videos.
Yeah, and plus your experiences are so different, especially depending on like where you are and what you're doing and where you're going and like the year you go and like so many variables. So
it's cheaper now.
And it's cheaper now, so
do it.
Apply. See you in 8 months, America.